Welcome to War Bios, the podcast where we delve into the lives of history's most fascinating military leaders and warriors. I'm your host, General Biography, and today we're going to explore the intriguing story of Maximilian I, the Hun of Mexico, a man whose life was marked by both triumph and tragedy. Born into a world of royalty and privilege, Maximilian would eventually find himself at the helm of a foreign nation, navigating the treacherous waters of politics, diplomacy, and war. To understand the complexities of Maximilian's character and the decisions that shaped his destiny, we must begin with his early life. On July 6, 1832, Archduke Ferdinand Maximilian Joseph Maria was born in Schönbrunn Palace, Vienna, Austria, to Archduke Franz Karl and Princess Sophie of Bavaria. As a member of the Habsburg dynasty, Maximilian's birth was met with great fanfare, and his early life was marked by the pomp and circumstance of royal privilege. As a child, Maximilian spent countless hours exploring the opulent gardens and forests surrounding Schönbrunn Palace, developing a deep love of nature and the outdoors. This passion would stay with him throughout his life, influencing his decisions as a ruler and shaping his views on conservation and sustainable development. Under the guidance of his parents and tutors, Maximilian received a rigorous education, studying history, politics, and military strategy. He proved to be an apt pupil, demonstrating a keen intellect and a natural aptitude for leadership. Maximilian's family played a significant role in shaping his early life and future path. His older brother, Emperor Franz Joseph, ascended to the throne in 1848 at the tender age of 18, following the abdication of their uncle, Emperor Ferdinand I. This event had a profound impact on Maximilian's life as he watched his brother navigate the complexities of European politics and diplomacy. The two brothers shared a close bond, and Franz Joseph's guidance played a significant role in shaping Maximilian's views on politics, military strategy, and leadership. As Maximilian grew older, he began to take on more formal roles within the Habsburg court. In 1850, at the age of 18, he was appointed as the governor of the Austrian coastal territory, a position that gave him valuable experience in administration and governance. This appointment marked an important milestone in Maximilian's life, as he began to assert his independence and develop his own unique style of leadership. The historical context of Maximilian's early years was marked by significant events and people that shaped his character and future path. The revolutions of 1848, which swept across Europe, challenged the established order and paved the way for a new era of nationalism and liberalism. As a member of the Habsburg dynasty, Maximilian was keenly aware of the need to adapt to these changing circumstances while still upholding the traditions and values of his family. As we explore the early life of Maximilian I of Maximilian I of Mexico, we see a young man who was both privileged and driven, with a strong sense of duty and ambition. His experiences have prepared him for the challenges that lie ahead, but the true test of his character and leadership abilities is yet to come. Maximilian's decision to accept the Mexican throne was a pivotal moment in his life, marking a significant departure from his traditional role within the Habsburg dynasty. In 1864, after being persuaded by French Emperor Napoleon III and a group of Mexican conservatives, Maximilian agreed to become the Emperor of Mexico with the expectation that he would bring stability and prosperity to the country. As emperor, Maximilian faced numerous challenges, including a deeply divided nation, a struggling economy, and the threat of opposition from the forces of Benito Juárez, who had been ousted as president. Despite these obstacles, Maximilian proved to be a shrewd politician and a skilled diplomat, working tirelessly to build alliances with various factions and implement reforms aimed at modernizing Mexico's infrastructure and economy. One notable example of Maximilian's efforts was his attempt to establish a more efficient and fair system of taxation, which had been a major source of discontent among the Mexican population. He also invested heavily in education and healthcare, recognizing the importance of these services in building a stronger, more prosperous nation. However, Maximilian's reign was not without controversy. His decision to impose certain European customs and traditions on Mexican society, such as the adoption of the metric system and the establishment of a new nobility, was met with resistance from many Mexicans who saw these changes as an attack on their cultural heritage. As tensions between Maximilian's government and the opposition forces led by Juarez continued to escalate, the emperor found himself facing increasingly difficult choices. Despite his best efforts to maintain a delicate balance between the various factions vying for power, Maximilian ultimately proved unable to stem the tide of opposition, and his position became increasingly untenable. In the words of Maximilian himself, "I came to Mexico with the intention of doing good, but I have found that it is not possible to please everyone." This sentiment reflects the complexity of Maximilian's character, a man who was driven by a desire to do what he believed was right, even in the face of overwhelming adversity. As the opposition forces led by Juarez continued to gain momentum, Maximilian found himself facing increasingly difficult circumstances. Despite his best efforts to maintain control, his position became increasingly untenable, and he was eventually captured by Juarez's forces in May 1867. The capture marked a significant turning point in Maximilian's life, as he was put on trial for treason against the Mexican people. The trial was a highly publicized and dramatic event, with Maximilian facing charges of attempting to overthrow the legitimate government of Mexico. Despite his protests of innocence, Maximilian was found guilty and sentenced to death by firing squad. The sentence was carried out on June 19, 1867, in the city of Querétaro, marking a tragic conclusion to Maximilian's story. Despite his ultimate failure to bring stability and prosperity to Mexico, Maximilian's legacy endures as a fascinating figure in Mexican history. In the years following his execution, Maximilian's reputation underwent significant revision, with many Mexicans coming to regard him as a tragic figure who had been caught up in the tumultuous events of the time. Today, Maximilian is remembered as a complex and multifaceted individual whose story serves as a reminder of the challenges and pitfalls of leadership. In the words of Maximilian himself, "I have done what I thought was right, and I am prepared to face the consequences." This sentiment reflects the complexity of Maximilian's character, a man who was driven by a desire to do what he believed was right, even in the face of overwhelming adversity. That's all for today's War Bios. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and until next time, I'm General Biography reminding you to keep marching toward victory.